Hello everyone, welcome back to the top 10 most awesome channel. As the Russia-Ukraine riots currently going on, we have brought you something interesting related to this. Vladimir Putin may be one of the most influential people in the world, but despite appearing daily in headlines around the world, the president of Russia is pretty secretive about his life, his family, and his political background. In fact, the average American likely doesn't know exactly how Vladimir Putin ascended from poverty to the KGB to the presidency. And you may or may not have heard about what exactly Putin experienced during the fall of the Soviet Union. Below, check out the most interesting facts you didn't know about Vladimir Putin. Number will shock you as it have one more unknown fact hidden. Number 10. His father worked for the agency that came before the KGB. The Los Angeles Times reports that, according to Vladimir Putin, his paternal grandfather worked as a cook for Lenin and then for Stalin. As the paper notes, it is unlikely that he would have had such a job without being part of the state security apparatus. Putin's father, Vladimir, served in the NKVD, the predecessor of the KGB as the security agency for the Soviet Union. So, unsurprisingly, Putin became interested in a career with the KGB during the 9th grade. Putin later said, "My impressions of the KGB were based on romantic stories about spies," admitting he had read a novel about a spy in Germany. He went uninvited to the KGB's Leningrad office. There, an agent advised him that the KGB didn't take anyone who volunteered, only those it selected. Putin asked how he could prepare himself, so the agent suggested law school, a path that Putin would pursue. Number 9. The Russian president loves animals. The Washington Post characterizes Vladimir Putin as a renowned animal lover. Putin owns a number of pet dogs, and he apparently loves being photographed with different animals. The Post explains that Putin has posed with a huge variety of animals, from polar bears to dolphins and many in between. Jan Kubik, chair at the Department of Political Science at Rutgers University, tells that you can interpret these photos in different ways. Kubik has seen at least 3 more types of images falling into the following categories: a loving pet owner, all those puppies, a consummate animal handler, horses, tigers, and the rescuer of endangered species, flying with Siberian cranes, saving a Siberian bear. These photos convey various messages. Nonetheless, Putin seems to be both an animal lover and a hunter. Interpret that as you will. Number 8. Putin became deputy mayor of Russia's crime capital. As the BBC reports, Putin returned to a Russia that had changed in ways that he didn't understand and didn't want to accept, according to biographer and critic Masha Gessen. His home city, Leningrad, became St. Petersburg again. But Putin moved forward. Shortly after accepting a job with Anatoly A. Sobchak, an ex-law professor who served as chairman of the city council, Putin quit the KGB. He helped Sobchak win election as mayor of St. Petersburg in 1991. Then, Putin himself became deputy mayor of St. Petersburg. According to Putin's friends in the city, opening the city to foreign investment represented one of Putin's biggest accomplishments in his role. But interestingly enough, as the Los Angeles Times reports, activities in St. Petersburg during the early 1990s also set the stage for the city to become Russia's crime capital. Number 7. Putin didn't exactly make a model student. The Los Angeles Times reports that according to Putin's teachers, he was selected in the 9th grade to attend Leningrad School No. 281. The school accepted only the city's brightest students. But Vladimir Putin hadn't always behaved like a model student. According to ABC News, the Russian tabloid claimed to have found Vladimir Putin's gradebook, and it shed some light on his behavior in school. The book reportedly revealed that at 11 years old, Vladimir Putin threw chalkboard erasers at the children, according to one teacher. Another teacher added that he didn't do his math homework. Still others added that a young Putin behaved badly during singing class and talks in class. He also got caught passing notes. Putin fought with a gym teacher, who punished him for forgetting his uniform. He even got into a fight with an older student on one occasion. How many of you thinking that, oh man, you two are just the same as Putin? Or your fair future chances? Do let us know in the comment box below. Also, do not forget to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon for notifications. Moving on to Number 6. Vladimir Putin didn't meet Donald Trump until 2017. Time reported in November 2017 that Vladimir Putin and Donald Trump first met in July at the Group of 20 summit in Hamburg, Germany. But the two probably knew about each other for years prior to that initial meeting. The Washington Post charted a brief chronology of Trump's claims about his relationship with Putin. According to the Post, Trump bragged about a relationship with Putin at a time when knowing world leaders was an asset. But Trump has backed away from those claims ever since closeness to Russia and its president became a political liability. Nonetheless, as Politico reports, Putin worked for the KGB at a time when Donald Trump appears to have attracted the attention of Soviet intelligence. Trump made a visit to Soviet Moscow in 1987, and Politico reports that the KGB almost certainly made the trip happen. Number 5. Vladimir Putin was his parents' third son, but the only one to survive beyond early childhood. Vladimir Putin doesn't talk about it a lot, but his family suffered several losses before and during the siege of Leningrad. As the New York Times reports, Putin's parents had 2 sons before Vladimir came along in the 1950s. But both of those boys died in early childhood. During the siege, Putin's 1-year-old brother was taken from his mother. The boy died in a children's home, and he was buried in an unmarked grave. My parents told me that children were taken from their families in 1941, and my mother had a child taken from her, with the goal of saving him, Putin explained. They said he had died, but they never said where he was buried. And that lost son wasn't the couple's first. The Times notes that the first Putin son died in infancy. Number 4. He has a vacation house in the middle of a dark Gothic forest. The same photographer, Platon, told The Guardian about Putin's dacha, or country house. That's where he took Putin's portrait for Time. The photographer characterized the vacation home as located in the middle of a dark Gothic forest outside Moscow. He said that when arrived at the dacha, there were snipers everywhere and 3 or 4 feet of snow. It was like a scene from a Cold War movie. The Atlantic reports that Putin built his dacha in this locale not long after he returned to St. Petersburg from his KGB service in Dresden, East Germany. However, it had burned down in 1996. He had a new one built identical to the original and was joined by a group of 7 friends who built dachas beside his. In the fall of 1996, the group of friends formally registered their fraternity. They called it Ozero, which means lake, and turned it into a gated community. Number 3. He was an outsider in the KGB. Though Vladimir Putin successfully got a post with the KGB, the Atlantic characterizes him as an outsider within the agency. He was not a KGB golden boy like his contemporary Sergei Ivanov, who later served as defense minister and deputy prime minister under Putin, the publication explained. Ivanov enjoyed posts in Helsinki and London, rather than remote East Germany. Ivanov also always seemed to be on a fast track as he rose through the academies and ranks of the KGB, the Atlantic explains. In contrast, Vladimir Putin did not reach the upper echelons of the institution until he suddenly secured a political appointment to head the Federal Security Service in 1998. Putin remained an outsider as Mikhail Gorbachev took the helm of the USSR. During that time, Putin remained at his post in East Germany. Further, the Atlantic characterizes Putin as an outsider to perestroika. He played no role in glasnost, the movement to reform the Communist Party of the Soviet Union and its policies. Number 2. Vladimir Putin's family lived in poverty. Think Vladimir Putin must have had a privileged upbringing? Think again. As Putin himself explains, his parents married at 17. During World War II, his father got drafted into the army. Eventually, a grenade crippled him. He survived thanks to a friend who carried him miles across ice to a hospital. Putin's mother ended up trapped in Leningrad, the Soviet-era name for St. Petersburg, and almost starved to death during the 900-day Nazi siege. After the war, Putin's father worked at the Yegorov train car factory. His mother took jobs sweeping streets and washing test tubes. The family moved to a communal apartment shared with several families. They had no hot water and no bathtub. Their toilet ran smack up against a stair landing. Putin was born in October 1952. He recalls the apartment as cold, crowded and infested with rats. Putin and his friends learned to chase those rats with sticks. Number 1 has 2 facts, guys. If you find out, let us know in the comment below. Putin loves the Beatles. You might not have much in common with Vladimir Putin. But if you love the Beatles, that's one thing. As The Guardian reports, a photographer sent to take a portrait of Putin for Time magazine's Person of the Year edition in 2007 got that information out of the Russian politician. Platon, the photographer, explains that in order to break the ice, he said to Putin, "I'm a big Beatles fan. Are you?" Platon recounts what happened next. "I wanted to break down the formality of the situation, and suddenly he started speaking perfect English. I love the Beatles," he said. "I asked him what his favorite song was, and he said Yesterday. So I put my arm around him and shook his hand again, although I later found out that it is illegal to touch Putin past the wrist. He was cool with that though. He was fine." Do you like the video? Let us know by liking and sharing the video to your friends and family. You can enjoy more such clips on our channel's playlist. I will see you in the next video. Till then, have fun. Thanks for watching.